Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Welcome back. How are you this week? Let us know. And how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing better than her. This little lady got spayed yesterday. So she's a little sleepy, a little under the weather. Oh, but she's such a sweet girl.
It'll be fun to see how her personality
Shifts?
shifts. Yeah,
Yeah.
shifts. I like that.
But she'll be happy because this means she gets to go outside. Because we've been keeping her in the house while she was a kitten and before she got spayed. Because Mama don't want babies. Oh, isn't that I finished nearly finished my bathroom remodel. I don't know what that was. Okay, anyway, I nearly finished just so you know it's clear, whatever it is. For the record, I didn't swipe something on the skirt. I nearly finished my bathroom remodel. I'm installing the last of the trim this morning, and then we are done. So that's pretty exciting.
Very exciting.
So I'll have to do a little mini video this week, sharing you guys the transformation and some of the design choices I made and why in this space. But this week, we're going to talk about styling a table for spring, which sounds fancy, and it's not. It's simple, and we're going to walk you through just a few options we might choose for Easter time and or springtime, I should say. And yeah, so if you don't,
the new location.
Yeah, it's new backdrop. So if you don't know who we are the Rustic Girls, mother-daughter duo. I'm Katie, the daughter of the duo.
And I'm Patty, the mother of the duo.
And we've been doing home decor, rehabbing furniture, owning a small antiques business. We've done it all for many years. And so we just wanted to share some of what we've learned with you guys and build community. So here we go. We're going to dive in. I'm actually sweating though. So, and I feel like we need to point out, because we did this on purpose. We went thrifting. I was really tired midweek. It was hump day. Hump day! Guess what day it is? Mike. And I was like, Mom, I just want to go play hooky. So I dropped the kids off at my sister's, and we played hooky, and she found this flannel, and she's like, oh, this is cute. I'm going to get it. And she's trying it on. I'm like, the exact same flannel. Well, mine doesn't fit as good as hers. I've lost some weight, so good problems, but it's now kind of baggy.
Maybe we'll have to trade because I feel like I've gained weight.
You just wear a lot of layers too, so
That's
you
true.
would fill out
I
the
do
layers.
have layers.
Because
I'm cold.
Yeah, winter is not warm, but here we go.
Gave me a false alarm a couple weeks ago. Started feeling like it was warming up, and nope, not quite yet. Just kidding.
Fall, spring, gotta love them. They get me every year. Yeah, so we've got the table here all ready to go. So I will, I think, dive in.
And before we start, I was going to say, if it is a table that you use every day and you need to have your pretty stuff exit, right? Because you don't want it to get all ruined, or you have a busy family, you're going to be putting food on the table. My recommendation is to create your vignette on some sort of a solid platform that you can move, whether it be a tray. I think I still have. I hope I still have. I really hope I still have. I had this. Thought about that. Okay. It was my prized breadboard in my collection. It was a long. It came from Europe. And but it was perfect to put in the center of the table because you could put all your vignette on it, and then you could easily just move that, because it's no fun to make something all pretty and have to completely dismantle it. So, but if you're if you have like a formal dining room, or you're doing it on a sideboard or something, you don't have to worry about that. But that's just a good, and even just a piece of plywood, that you could paint or whatever. If you don't have anything really pretty, and you put a runner over that, I mean, anything that you can move.
It's funny because that's my first thing I planned on building was one. So my table is very much, it's not a large table, and it's very, we do our school at it, we do food at it, and so I can get away with having a vignette, a pretty little display during the day, but at dinner time, it's all gotta go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dive in. We got a few options here, and no, but this isn't my good side.
I know, but you were.
I know. So runners, I like a base layer. I think creates something that connects your display to the table. I couldn't find any of my runners this morning. They were deep in a tote, and I was sweaty, so we were done. But Patty had this accessible, so this is also a good option.
Or even a piece of remnant fabric. It's fun to go to the fabric store
and should go remnant burlap
and look for look through their remnants, because then you can get like a small piece of fabric that's, if you want to change it out seasonally.
So I think I'm going to hang on to this. So because I don't have a runner that quite fits. Sorry. This is one that's very, like, it's cool. Kind of it's like, I think it's a starter, like a seed starter.
Garden tray.
Again, I'm notorious for getting stuff that I think someone handmade. But yeah, because it's got the holes in the bottom, but it's heavy, galvanized metal, tons of charm, tons of character. And maybe I'll use this and I'll actually fluff it around. I'm going to take this burlap. We're going to see how we can reuse this today. So I'm going to kind of fill it up, create a nice little space. Again, just something for everything to sit in. And then you can incorporate things like, I have timer candles into it. Grab a ton of Easter.
And if you do like multiple like candles and you don't have little risers for them, when you're in a vignette like this, like especially in a tray, you could easily take a jar or a jar lid, flip it upside down, especially if you put just a little bit of museum putty or whatever on the bottom. So you could have like two different heights. If that's what you want to do.
Okay. So that's a really good point, and it's something we're actually going to do today. We're going to steal something. Get creative. I just stole the bin that has all my postage stamps. I've got my candle. I'm actually going to pull this out. I'm going to tuck, and I'm going to hide it under the burlap. And so then you've got the two candles. I've got a little bit of greenery. And I think on this one, I think I'm just going to leave it like this. It's simple. I've kind of created movement with the greenery, the flickering of the lights, and then we got a little bunny tucked inside. So I don't know if you really get to see that.
One thing that you could add, if you wanted to work that in.
Actually, let's do that. Then I'll show you a little closer. A little bunny peeping out. I've got the candles. And this is something that can sit in the middle of my table. It's beautiful, but come mealtime, I just have to move it. So when creating a centerpiece, I'm thinking about elements that work together, but also work in my home. I have a lot of like the metals, kind of I'm like industrial Art Deco farmhouse. So you've got like the metals, which is kind of a raw material, which I have a lot of in my home, and the burlap feels very natural. And then the candles, I have a lot of, I'm allergic to smoke. So for me, artificial candles are all over my house because it's what I can do to enjoy the flickering without the choking. And then just a little bit, pretties that fit the season. And this is something, if I wanted to, I could rotate out. Maybe my greenery is a different greenery. these two things I'd rotate out with something for a different season. So it's versatile. And so that would be my first vignette that I built for you today.
And another thing you could do.
1 second, guys.
Another thing you could do with this, if you really liked the simplicity of this, but either you weren't quite ready to add the Easter element, or it was right after Easter, you could remove the sign, and you could rearrange a little bit. You could put like a glass vase with a bouquet of tulips or daffodils or something in there too, so you bring that living element into it. So you can still keep it really simple, or again, just change it out with a different little sign.
Yeah. So that's the centerpiece for one. You want to take the next one, Brent? All right. And you can seal. You can always pillage them. Other ones.
So, if you don't have a runner, or you don't have a seasonal runner, one of the things there's a couple different ways you could go. You could use any kind of paper, really. Let's just say any kind of paper, really. Sheet music is a beautiful way to go because it's vintage paper, which is just great. And you can kind of place it out here, and you could do however many. If you have more, you could make it longer. So that's a great replacement.
I just on that, I think it looks nice when you tilt it kind of back and forth like you did.
Gives a little bit of movement.
Gives some movement, and it just feels a little less like just random paper left on your table.
Right.
This feels like, oh, I displayed this.
Yeah.
Let me get out of the way.
And then
a lot of swapsies today.
Let's see.
Welcome back to my good side, friends.
So this you could use. I mentioned, a vase. You could equally put fresh flowers in this if they're in season and it's appropriate. But if not, picking up some nice greenery or florals.
And you can get high end that's really nice. But honestly, you can also take your 40% off coupon to Hobby Lobby and just people don't look as close as you look.
Yeah.
So when someone's visiting your home, they're not going to be like, oh, that looks like a cheap. I mean, Dollar Tree, maybe not. Maybe that's a little too low quality. But the stuff you can get at like Hobby Lobby, places like that, perfectly fine. You don't need to spend, $20 on a piece of stem.
There was a I don't know. When I was first married, there was still a distaste or stigma for artificial because they were doing silks and things like that, but they weren't great. They looked fake. I grew up, my mama had plastic florals.
So very cute.
So, but some of them are really nice, and I really like, how far they've come, and they have movement to them. So another really simple one. I'm a big fan of the candles for the books.
You're looking at candles.
I know. I don't want to use the word fake, but fake candles.
Oh, the artificial.
Artificial, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The battery candles.
And then books.
Or timer candles.
Books are another great thing to have in your decorating arsenal. And these you can use all over your home. They can be books that you love to read. You can rob them from your bookshelves. But look at them. So all of these we chose today because of their coloration.
They felt springy. Or the titles. Or the designs.
They just had Under the Lilacs by Louisa May Alcott. Plants and Their Children. Gentle and Lowly. A Basket of Flowers. So titles and the bookmakers did a
beautiful job.
Yeah.
They're so pretty to look at.
Also, we talk a lot about the rules of three.
Odds.
Rules of three. Yeah. So odd numbers
tend to look more visually appealing than even. If you're gonna do evens, that tends to be your very geometric, very balanced, very structured versus kind of a free flow design.
And I think I'm just gonna go with 2 under there. And I think I'm gonna one of the candles. I wish I had a taller sign to go behind.
Sorry, I don't have a lot of signs in my home.
All right, let's do this instead then.
Thinking on the fly, this is what it looks like. And so when you're styling your table, it's a process. So you're going to be trying some things and going, well, that doesn't work. I'm going to actually layer this in. You've noticed both Patty and I did that already, where we're like, we put it one way, we're going to move it. We're going to actually put this in. So that's kind of the process. You play with it. And it's not that you do it perfectly the first time or that you ever do it perfectly. It's that you're just kind of
you stand back and you reassess,
feeling it out.
And
the more you do it, the more you learn to trust your gut on what looks right and what looks good. What are you doing there?
Rip your whole thing apart.
Just rip my whole thing apart. It's totally fine. I think it's actually valuable because we can see how you can reuse the same elements to create kind of a different look.
So I probably don't need quite so much of this, but because I don't want to cut it, we're gonna
double it over and kind
of.
Oh yeah, that is kind of a lot for.
Yeah, it feels kind of heavy. Ideally, I think I would put just a wisp of it in there.
Yeah.
And that feels really heavy.
But I do think like a burlap or any kind of, if you had a seasonal, so like I have for autumn, I have a puka pads, which are the little tiny looking pumpkin, but they're seeds. And like I would feel with something like that. You could do some kind of springy element in it that you could nestle stuff in, or you could drape the burlap.
So what I would do with this, I think what I would do with this is a simple, even another great little fabric or vintage handkerchiefs.
Oh yeah. Just pop.
And
give you your vibe.
I didn't think to grab them. Felted eggs. You could use plastic eggs, felted eggs.
That would just depend on what look you're going for. So if you want more of a fun, playful, you're playing into the kid side of Easter, you'd use your plastic egg. If you're wanting something more like neutral, a little bit more earthy, you'd go with like the felted eggs and more natural elements. So it's just kind of playing to what your taste is.
Yeah. And and this is the point, and I think this is a good example because I like what I'm doing, but there's some missing elements. And so this is an opportunity to either go dig around and find those elements, and again, trial and error. You could even put a jar of jelly beans, or to add to your.
Sure, I'm just like taking over. You keep talking.
No, that's good. I like it. But you can do. The thing about having some basic pieces is they can translate over. When I downsized, one of the things I intentionally kept was my white picture. And let me tell you, I had pictures that I loved. And would have been totally appropriate to keep had I a bigger house. But going on the road and downsizing to a small space, I kept the white very intentionally because I can use that all season long or all year long.
Yeah,
I can put spring flowers in it. I can put flowers in it in the summer. I can put greenery in it. I can put Christmas, branches and florals in it. So having some versatile pieces, because it will totally change the look depending on how you use them, how you fill them with your trays and your pictures. And
we're gonna see if we can crank one more out in this 30-minute video.
Yeah, I wanted to do something with that because I thought that's a great.
And this is another one that's movable, but it's kind of middle ground. It's not as easy to move as the metal box was. You think maybe we could just grab some of those? Maybe take that off the table. Getting a little cluttered. So this time we're going to use the burlap runner for the whole table. I'm going to run down the middle because I have a piece that's narrow enough to center it. Okay. What do you think? What should be our next element, Mom? What do you think, Patty? I feel like maybe a little bit of height.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'd like to see some of the books going with that. But I wasn't sure which way you were going, if you wanted to go across or if you were wanting to
I was thinking about going up, just keep it, but we could go across. I was thinking. I don't know what you're going to do like. Maybe that. What do you think, Patty? You can take the candle off too. I'm not necessarily. What if you? Yeah. A big sprig.
Again, very simple.
Very simple.
Another thing
just allowing it to express.
Another thing to do, we didn't really talk about, is walk around it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you might want to
tweak it a little.
You might want to tweak a little, or add a little something on this side. So, when you are using the table with that in there. So I'm not sitting here looking at a wall of
right.
And this isn't bad. The stem kind of pokes out here, but you could easily.
Wanted to see if we could throw one more together.
I did want to talk about this half sphere because these are great. I should have just brought my.
Okay, hang on. I want to show you this, and then we can show a super simple centerpiece with that half sphere. So, we'll just doing that. So this is just, get all the stuff out of the way. There we go. The simple burlap runner, a couple books. It's just really, it's clean. It's not super busy. It's not really big.
And if you wanted to make this playful, because the bunny, I feel like this bunny can go either way.
Mm-hmm.
He adds a little bit of whimsy if everything
else
is,
want to lean into it,
or he can be very playful. So if you replace this and you put you could put a jar with jelly beans. I don't know if you've seen where you do like a larger clear vessel, and then you put a narrow one in the center. You fill up around that with the jelly beans, and then you have a base in the center that you have flowers coming out. So that would give it a much more playful. Yes. But these half spheres,
so fun.
Okay, so for absolute simplicity,
done. Look at that, guys.
Right there.
Seriously, it's so simple. It's so beautiful.
But they will sit in bowls. They sit nicely and they fluff out.
Want to just put a little bit of,
So they're just versatile things. And again, you don't have to have a bin full of greenery that you store. All of this greenery. I mean,
look at that.
I at one time did have a bin full of greenery that I stored.
And we're not judging if you do. It's fun,
but you don't feel like you have to. I have those I pulled out of a basket in my house. That I pulled out of a little crock in my house, and this I pulled out of a little pot in my house.
Yeah,
and so I just have them tucked places, and then I rearrange them when I want to do something different.
Well, and one thing I was going to say on that last note, you noticed in our displays we built today, we used like 5 or 6 things, and we just used them different ways. So, and I'm thinking we will repeat this seasonally, and so you'll get to see how even throughout the year, how many of these elements actually get reused. I have a very minimal. So I do have a tote for each season, but it's not very big for most of them, except autumn. I go a little crazy in autumn. So my autumn tote is bigger, but the other ones are not that big. And the rest of it just rotates. So it's pillowcases that can be swapped out. It's a little bit of greenery maybe. If I have something very specific for autumn or very specific for like winter, but my spring and summer is all the same. The candles all stay the same. And then these base elements, I've got like 4 different things that are really good, like base elements for displays. And yeah, we're going to keep reusing them all year long. And that's the beauty of it. You don't have to have a whole new house for every season.
Right.
You don't have to have all the money to buy all the things. Like, just be thoughtful in what you do get. Like Patty talked about having that white pitcher. It's just one pitcher, but it does a ton. Whereas if she had kept all the unique ones, they were really cool, and if she had the space, heck yeah. But she didn't, and so she was smart. Pared down to the one that was super functional.
Yeah. A blue one I might not use. I mean, I loved using the blue one.
Would work a winter.
4th of July.
Yeah. But it's limited.
But
it's very limited.
Yeah.
So, definitely, I'd say invest in the things. I've always prioritized investing in nice things, but have it be things that are multi-purpose, multifunctional. And
I think always got to throw in the pitch for secondhand, for vintage, because your dollar goes farther that way, and you find unique items. Not to say you can't find, I'm all about, using the coupons and hitting the clearance rack at Hobby Lobby.
I mean, the artificial candles,
for sure,
and the greenery were new. Everything else, and that was even the books. One thing my friend actually turned me on to, she bought a book called Gentleman's Agreement. It's a really good book. It's about anti-Semitism in early America, and it's a really good story. But she basically went through this like antique store with her husband and found these 2 books that sounded interesting, and so she bought them, or they looked interesting, and she was actually reading them, and then I borrowed it and loved it, and so she let me have it. And it just kind of, I've been so focused for so many years on vintage books being something for display. They're for building things. They're looking pretty on shelves. You can read them?
They're so good.
I know, guys. I know.
Mind blown.
Yeah. And so even, it's on both sides. Having vintage books that you actually enjoy and read.
Yes.
That means something to you. I have a copy of Silas Marner that's a really beautiful copy and a very special book to me. Then, having your newer books that you enjoy, but they're still beautiful, you can use them as your display. So they don't have to just sit on your shelf, and you don't have to buy books for your displays. They're interchangeable.
And even, don't be afraid to think out of the box, because there's beauty in, you have an old torn, paperback that's lost its cover, but it was a book that you loved.
It's your story.
It's part of your story, and it can blend in nicely. There's, paper is another one of those textile type things. Those just kind of,
it just works, and it adds character and warmth and history. I think that's what we're craving, is history. And when we say character, it's like feeling like it's not meaningless. There's not just what I'm here for, I'm a bit of vapor. I'm here for a moment, I'm gone. None of it matters. And when you're engaging with things that have been around for generations, it creates that sense of stability, I think, that we all love to feel, and safe and secure. And
I think that touches on the why. For me, like, I've always loved it, and it seems like a natural course. But I think for some people, decorating just seems like this extraneous thing that's like, why bother?
Right.
You don't have to pour a lot of money, time, or effort, skill, any of that into it. But I believe taking that time to put something out that speaks to us, or creates a little corner of beauty. It offers inspiration and motivation for not only us, but for
those who live with
us,
those who visit us.
So, my 2 cents for it.
That's my 2 cents. Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah. Look at the mess we made. Now we got to clean that up. We pillaged all over our houses to gather these things to build these. So I hope you enjoyed it.
If you build a springtime or whatever
style of your table,
we'd love
share it
Share.
We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to see it. If that's the thing. I don't know if you can leave pictures in the comments, but I want to know.
I was just, as soon as I said that, I was like, I don't think you can leave pictures. Not on YouTube.
We'll have to figure this out.
But
Because I want to see what you guys are doing. I'd love to hear about how you're expressing your creative identity and telling your home, telling your story. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this chat, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, and
subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe. All the things. I always feel like when we do this part, it feels a little bit like you remember American Idol?
Yeah.
And they would have the vote for me because people would call in to vote or text to vote, and they were like, vote for me, vote for me. Whenever I have to say subscribe to me, that's what it feels like.
And I think, our motivation and our excitement is we want to hit that 50 subscribers
so we can go live. Yep,
for sure. So we can interact with you more.
Because it's way more fun to do one of these with you guys, adding your ideas, offering your suggestions would be so much more fun. But anyway, we hope you guys have a beautiful week.
And next week we are
talking about something. I don't know. We'll get the hang of this. We're working on it, guys. Bye, friends.
Bye.